Hello everyone and welcome to the Wave 9 review First Thoughts. So FFG have just put out the article previewing Wave 9 and to basically cover what they've said, a couple of hidden gems in the article, and give my thoughts on what we can see. So the Wave 9 expansion is going to be the Arc 170 for the Rebels, the Special Forces TIE Fighter for the Imperial slash First Order, the Protectorate Starfighter for Scum, and the Shadow Chaser for Scum as well. It looks like we're adding in some really interesting concepts. We've got small paced ships with auxiliary firing arcs and mobile firing arc. It looks like we've not really spoken about what it does yet, but it looks to do exactly what it sounds like. Firing arc you can move around, and a nice small based fighter for Scum. It looks to be what I'd hoped Reseek would have been when that came out. Okay, we'll get right into the pictures. I'm just going to go through them in the same order that they do on the FFG article. So we'll start off with the Arc 170, and I'll pull up the images we have. So as you can see, it is a small base ship. It has an auxiliary firing arc. The article goes on to talk about how it has 6 green maneuvers when it's going at speeds 1 or 2. So that's quite a bit. I'd imagine them to be the 1 and 2 forwards and the 1 and 2 banks, and then probably no hard 1s, but the hard 2s being white, if I had to guess. Start line wise, it comes in with 2 attacks and 1 agility, 6 hull and 3 shields. So it's pretty rugged ship. That attack value doesn't look that impressive until you look at the 0-point title that comes in the pack for the Alliance Overhaul. So the Alliance Overhaul lets you, when attacking with your primary from your primary firing arc, you may roll 1 additional attack dice. So out of the front, it is a 3 attack dice primary, 4 at range 1. And then when attacking from your auxiliary arc, you may change one of your focus results to a crit. So when you're shooting out of the back, you go back down to your 2 attack dice, but you get an inbuilt focus and all that for 0 points. I feel like when I initially saw it, I was like, why the hell have they done this title? Why didn't they just include it in the ship? But I feel like having just a 3 attack dice primary with the auxiliary arc might have been a little bit too strong, and this is a quite elegant way of balancing that out and yet still making it worthwhile using your auxiliary arc as well. Okay, so let me pull the article back up. Yes, so that's the Alliance Overhaul. Then they talk about the fact that we have Poe Dameron's mother. No, that's the wrong one. I mustn't have added that image in. Let's grab it for you now, guys. Should have been better prepped in this. So when a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 is attacking, it may treat your blue target lock tokens as its own. So she's pretty good. I mean, 28 points with a support ability. So the first things that jump to mind is using her with a higher pilot skill for other ordnance-based lists. Her and maybe some Z95, something like that, going a bit of a Clone Wars era list. It should give you good options for getting off any extra shots and things like that. But I'd be more looking at taking her for EPT and the pilot skill than the ability. Just at the moment, I say there might be something that jumps out that I'm missing, and that gives you a good look at the upgrade slots as well. So 1 torpedo, a crew, and a astromech. So it's the first time we've had that combination, and I think there's quite a few options. Immediately, if you want to go defensive, you could go 3PO and R2D2, and that way you get the extra evade when you're guessing, and you get the regen from those 6 greens when you're using R2D2. So what else is in the pack that they didn't talk about? If you look at this card here, it looks like it's some form of modification. I'd guess a vectored thruster from the text there. And you can see small ship only and the barrel roll symbol. So it looks like we're getting a variation on the engine upgrade to give a bit of repositioning. Other interesting things, we've obviously got a new astromech, which we're getting 2 of, so it's obviously not unique. A copy of Adrenaline Rush, a recon specialist, and we don't know what Taildunner does yet. Then another one I found interesting was Nora Wexley. So that's Snap Wexley's mother. They're in the Aftermath book. And obviously Snap Wexley is in The Force Awakens. And if you get a zoom in on that one, it looks to say that she can spend a target lock to add a focus result to the dice when she's either attacking or defending. So it can boost her survivability. Again, piling that on with 3PO, stuff like that, it can make her really defensive, potentially giving you, if you have a focus token, get shot, spend your target lock to add in a focus result, roll a blank, or, you know, you can potentially get 3 evades from 1 shot. And she's coming in at 29 points for pilot skill 7. Okay, that's about everything I can make out from these ones. So I'll move on. Just let me double check my notes, make sure I've not missed anything. Yep, next one. So we have the Special Forces TIE Fighter. In the article, FFG talks about, for this one, obviously it's a more elite version, you get the special ops training, brings up its stat line, which again I didn't add the image for some reason. I've actually been caught off guard by this one. Okay, so I don't have a pilot image for this one, that's why. So if we just zoom in, you can see looks to be quick draw there. So he's PS9. He has 2 attack, obviously out of the front and rear arc. 2 agility, 3 hull, 3 shields. So pretty rugged. Another pilot skill 9 pilot for the Imperials. His ability looks like it reads the first time he loses a shield, he can take a shot out of, it looks like his is it primary arc? I can't see it 100%, but so let me see if I can zoom in again. Yeah, I think it's out of his primary or auxiliary arc. And anyway, the special ops training lets you attack with your primary. You may roll 1 additional dice, so it bumps it up again, just same as the arc 170. It's a 3 attack dice primary when you're firing out the front arc. If you choose to, you can perform attacks out of the front and rear with the 2 dice. So this seems really interesting in that you can get yourself into a position, especially with quick draw at PS9, inbuilt barrel roll. Do the hard one, barrel roll in between two ships, and then shoot them out the front and the back. Potentially kill 2 ships with one of yours. Seems pretty interesting. What can we see in this one? So I'm pretty sure quick draw's ability was right there, but I can't make it out exactly. Looks like another copy of Wired. Not sure what the tech does. I can't really make out enough of it to hazard a guess. And then there is something that looks like a cold deck. It looks like it's obviously a sensor slot, and that's this card here. So the sensor slot, and it talks about barrel rolls and when performing. So not 100%, but it looks pretty maneuver based as well, which will just add to the fun that you can have with quick draw. You can't make out any of the others, but it looks like you have 2 generics and 2 named in this pack. Okay, then we'll go on to the Protectorate fighter for Scum. They call it the Fang fighter in the article. Again, this is from Rebels, and I've not watched Series 2 yet, so I'm not up to speed on it. But this looks like an impressive pack. Comes with 6 different pilots and not a lot else. It says that although you've got the boost and barrel roll, and it looks like they have the Talon roll. A Talon roll action, Talon roll maneuver. So you can do quite a bit of funky arc dodging and stuff, but it says that they're designed to get in there and get in range 1 of your opponents and just try and annihilate them, which this title here does seem to make clear. So it was the Concord Dawn Protector, and it's a 1-point title. Is it a title? Yeah, it is a title. And that one reads that when defending, if you are in range 1 and arc of your attacker, and you have them in your arc, you get to add 1 evade result. Sorry, what was it? An evade token or an evade result? Well, it's irrelevant either way. It functions the same. And that's each time you're defending. So if you can fly into range 1 of 2 or 3 Zeds and they all shoot at you, you're getting an evade automatically every time. And when you combine that with Fenn's ability, rolling an extra die, so you're looking at 4 dice with a focus and an evade result added in every time. So the 4 hull's not the most rugged, but I've personally seen Z95s live through some interesting stuff, and that extra die on top of a Z, so it should be interesting. So the top level is coming in at 28 points for Pilot Skill 9, so it's the same points as Talonbane Cobra. If you use that kind of logic, I'd expect it to place a little bit cheaper than a Curax fighter, just because obviously the lowest level is a Pilot Skill 1 and you've got less shields, so I'd guess around the 16 to 18 point range for the PS1 version of this. other than that, it looks like you don't get much else. Obviously, it looks like an EPT. Well, it's an EPT. Looks to be like fearless, something like that. And I can't make enough of it to hazard a guess on what that does. Then on to the Shadow Chaser, Shadow Caster. Is it Shadow? Oh, damn! It's too early. Shadow Caster, yeah, that's the one. So this one's really interesting. A mobile firing arc. You can see this bit of the insert here, just on top of the base. So it looks like that rotates around for your mobile arc to indicate where it's pointing. We'll just cover off what the pictures tell us first, and then there's quite a few interesting bits that FFG have put on this one. So we have a scum version of Sabine. She is a good, well, we'll go through the stats for a ship. So 3 attack, 2 agility, 7 hull, 3 shields, 2 illicit slots, and a crew slot. So 2 illicits is really interesting. Lots of potential there. Then, when defending against an enemy ship inside your mobile firing arc at range 1 or 2, you may add 1 focus result to your roll. So, quite a defensive pilot ability, really. Not as tricksy as she is when she's flying for rebels. But if you can keep that mobile firing arc onto your biggest threat, you're guaranteed a focus result. So it will keep you. It's kind of like having the evade option because you've got the evade in there, but I don't know. I feel like Sabine, you're going to focus every time, and it's a better defensive option, but needing to use your abilities to roll the arc around for your actions as well could be a little bit limited. Then what else is on this? So FFG mentions it in the article but doesn't show you, and you can just make it out here. So you've got the IG crew. So he is a unique crew. And basically you can't see what the ability says there, but it does say in the article that you can put the IG ability onto a shadow caster. So if I had to guess, I'd say that this is the same as the IG 2000 title, but from thinking about it, it's not going to be IGB because that's the ability you're going to want to put onto most of the ships. IGA still, well, basically IGD, the one that lets you change your swoop to a hard turn instead, won't function if you don't have the 3 swoop. So I'd guess that this is IGD. Can't see anything, but I feel like, you know, stealing that ability could be worth like 2 points around about there. I'd be surprised if it comes out at 3 points. But straight away I thought about Morello for this. It was HLC on Morello and then take an IGB and this crew, and it seems like you can have some fun with a gunnered HLC in a 180 degree arc. It's also the Lats Razzie crew. I can't make out enough of it to say exactly what she does, but it seems to be a defensive ability. Then it's got Kentsu crew as well, and you can just make out the Kentsu title card, pilot card as well. So this guy comes in PS7, and he is at range 1, and you've got them in both your primary and auxiliary arc. You can assign them a track beam token. That's if you it's something along those lines. It talks about if you get a ship at range 1 and have it double arced, you can assign it a track beam token. So obviously there's 2 ways of double arcing. You can have the arc on your primary and the mobile arc over the front as well, as it is in the picture. Or you could cut the angle and have it to one side and make sure you draw the line through them and get both arcs. One thing I did like about this mobile firing arc is that you have the versatility. You can set it up early, and then if you put it on one side, you can just circle around that side of the board and cover quite a good way. If you're wanting to play defensively, you throw it to a rear and shoot anyone who's chasing you. There's some interesting things. The other one I liked was this debris cloud token. It looks to be deployable. You can see the nubs on it. And going through the upgrades, it looks like this one here ties in with it. Just because we know what all of the other ones, it doesn't make sense for VI, IG, Watts, these one, the crew don't make sense. That's the title, which we'll come on to. Tactical jammers, countermeasures, and then this looks to be a new one as well. But I'm not sure what that one does. But it looks like you can add more debris to the game after setup. Then I'm pretty sure, the Shadow Chase, Shadowcaster title is 3 points, and that is when attacking a ship at range 1 to 2 with your mobile firing arc. If the attack hits, you can assign them 1 track to beam token. So that was relatively good. One other thing that I noticed as well was, because I got up pretty early to read this article and start trying to put this video together, is when I came to download the pictures, they had actually changed, because I remember thinking that the Sabine pilot wasn't actually in the image, and luckily I still had it open on my phone before I closed it all down, so I have the original image, which is this one. So it looks like we've had a bit of a swap around at some point. So this is the card that's missing, and then the art's danced around. So like Sabine's looks to be entirely new compared to this one, and then Kentsu's taken a new art, and Kentsu's old art has gone to whoever the PS6 one is, and the generic looks to have just changed as well. But other than that, nothing else looks like it was different. So just at some point they've changed the second tier pilot. Sorry if you can hear me banging outside. I'm having the fence done as well, but I don't have time to wait to get this put together. Um, but yeah, that's about it for running down the article. I'll get rid of these. Um, Thoughts on Wave 9 then? Scum are going to be big winners again. Obviously, getting 2 ships again. I feel like they could have gone down to just 1 ship in this wave, but that's fine. Another large base ship as well, so it looks to be one of the defining features for the faction. We've got the most large ships of any of the factions now. The Shadowcaster looks really nice. 10 hit points is about where I like to see the large base ships, and it's good that it adds a new dynamic with that mobile firing arc. I've been hoping to see small based ships with auxiliary firing arcs for a while. I was hoping that the A-Wing title would have introduced a rear firing arc for the A-Wing, but that might have been a little bit too good with how mobile the A-Wing is. The Arc 170, there's too much for me to think about for how many combinations and how good it can be, and it doesn't look like it comes in too expensive unless you really pile on for the higher pilot skills. Hopefully the generic is around about the 20 to 23 points level. I can't see it being much cheaper than that just because of that stat line, but who can say? It is PS3 as well. In fact, it doesn't look like it was a generic. Let me bring that back up again. Yeah, they're all dotted. Okay, so ignore that. There's no generic. That's another thing we can talk about. So you're not going to be able to spam them too much. You're going to probably max out at 3 in a list, but whether you'd take 3 or not, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to trying out some crew combinations. I spoke about, I think it was on Nova Squadron Radio, that I wanted somewhere to put Sabine that could actually move, that wasn't a Hawk and wasn't, like the ORS isn't good enough to put Sabine on. Everything else gets too expensive. So I feel like with the torpedo slot, Sabine adding the bomb, this could be a nice option for Sabine to sit in as well. And that's about it for that one. Special Forces tie. We all knew it was coming. People have been complaining that it wasn't the one that was in the Force Awakens core set. Personally, I like this version. I'm glad it came out separately. The sensor and tech slot combinations going to throw up something interesting. I mean, just off the top of my head, Axia Corrector straight away, when you can shoot out of the front and rear with 2 dice and get 100% accuracy on both shots. And then, you don't have the evade action, so you struggle with comm relay. Weapon guidance, if you take an accuracy corrector, you don't really need it. We'll see what this new one is. But yeah, that one's interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing what this other guy does at PS7. Because if he has the EPT, it can go up to 9 as well. And hopefully the generics will come in around about the X-Wing point cost. Then we'll go the Protectorate Starfighter. Again, it looks like it could be what I hoped the Seek would be. A nice maneuverable ship for Scum. You've got boost barrel roll. Hopefully the dial will back it up this time as well. There's not much to talk about because this pack's all pilots and we don't know what they are. Hopefully it's cheap enough that you can now start exploring some, maybe one contracted scout, a party buzz YV666, and then a couple of these fighters. Because before you had to go with Z95s if you wanted more than one, and they just whacked a punch. And then the most interesting one will be the Shadowcaster, just because there's a lot of crew in there, which Scum have already got some really good crew. So it will be interesting to see what Wats's ability does. If it's really good defensively, she can get thrown on a party buzz as well. The IG I really like. That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please, if you enjoyed the content, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. I need to try and get a couple more subscribers in there. Feel free to leave comments if there's anything I've missed in my review. Point it out. Let me know and I'll try and cover it. I always try and respond to comments where I can as well. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.